Welcome back to Apologists. Let's continue. Let me tell you why your little fairy tale makes no sense at all. Oh, it sounds good, I'll give you that. You've given us a reason why the killer bothered following the lyrics of my song. But I question your logic. For it's flawed from the very beginning. Flawed? Yes, a contradiction, Hair Forehead, one I've pointed out several times, unless. The time of the crime, the small window at the scene was closed. How could the Moor have heard the voice through it? Oh. I know I'd like to divert our attention from this critical fact. But you're basing your entire line of reasoning on a false premise. Right. The Moor's testimony is my entire case. The voice you heard, the shooter's voice. What if she couldn't hear it, Apollo? Look, what do we have? A man saying press the switch. Near the crime scene we have a switch, which acts as a remote trigger for an igniter. Last but not least, Parker Gavin's flaming guitar. It can't all be coincidence, but how do I make it work? I see a more direct line of questioning is required. When the crime scene was investigated immediately after the crime, the window was closed. Carter would tell us Salamore heard the voice. A key point, to be sure. Mr. Justice, can you explain this to the court? Okay, Justice, you got one thing to prove and one thing only. Moore heard a voice. And you heard it during the second set. Think, how was it more able to hear the voice? She was somewhere else? The window was open is the obvious answer, but she's divine hearing is just the funny. She was somewhere else. This strikes me as the interesting answer, and the one I'm gonna go with. When we investigate the scene, the window was closed. The shooter had no reason to close it, had it been open either. Meaning it was impossible to hear the voice through that window. Ah, it's good to hear you making sense again. For a moment, I was afraid he might be a Borgenian too. As I was saying, the Moor could not hear the voice through that window. So there can only be one other explanation. She heard the voice from another location entirely. What's this? Haha, you do miss me so. Here I thought you and Good Sense were back on speaking terms. And I'm afraid you and Good Sense speak in two entirely different languages. Shall I interpret for you, Half Forehead? More clearly stated, she heard the voice through that small window. There's only one small window at the scene. Are you sure? Think about it. Isn't there another small window at the scene? There is. I know that look. Let's just ask him. Very well. You claim that Moore heard the voice from another location. Just show us where that location was. Moore heard the voice from here. Can't say I'm quite with you, Apollo. What are you on about? The TV? This looks like a small window to you, Mr. Justice. The state of modern society can read from numerous objects and artifacts. In a sense, anything could be a window in our society. I'd ask you to point out a window in society. One window in the crime scene. No points for trying. The vent? This is where the Moor heard that voice from. But that's no small window. That's the air vent. What did she tell us? She said she's a Borgenian, unfamiliar with our language. It's not a stretch to manage. She called this air vent a small window. And you've done it. You've run beyond ridiculous and into ludicrous. So the Moor is up in the ventilation system listening to the man's voice. That's no logical explanation, yes. Logical? I don't think you know the word means fair forehead. Right. Okay. What about isn't logical? How the merits saying? Or the Moor be in the ventilation system? Hiding like a rat. No intention offended to her, of course. The explanation for that is simple, Prosecutor Gavin. Isn't it, Lamore? You've been listening to our discussion here, yes? Yes. I admit it's had me quite confused since yesterday. Yes, the small window was closed. But why should that mean I couldn't hear through it? I feared our prosecutor might himself need an interpreter. From Monsieur's words. The Moor, this small window which you heard the voice, Was it up high on the ceiling of the room, not low on a wall? Yes, it was high up on the ceiling. What? Order! Order! I will have order! Witness, you will clarify this statement to the court. Are you in fact saying that you were up above the ceiling of the room? That's where you heard the moment of the crime. Yes, in fact I was. I'm sorry, I never mentioned it would become such an important point. Yes, well, why the heck were you up there? I believe it's time for another testimony. I'm not sure I can't. Let me remind you, this is a murder trial. You hear your testimony. Tell us why you witnessed the crime from above the ceiling of that room. Please. Looks like I'm on the right track. Above the ceiling. Yes, I was above the ceiling when I heard the voice. I heard that there was a small window there before. I was in the middle of my performance. I had no time to report what I had heard. As to why I was there, I cannot say. I'm bound to secrecy in this matter. Bound to secrecy? A man in work, one has many obligations to uphold. You say you were in the middle of your performance. So this did happen during the second set. I did not witness the crime, you must understand. All I know what I heard. Yes, but you must tell us what you were doing, in detail. That's what the cross-examination is for, head. Forehead. Our mission in this court is to discern the truth. No obligation, no binding pact may hinder that mission. Very well. Mr. Justice, you may begin the cross-examination. What are you going to do, Apollo? I'm going to find out the truth. She's up above that ceiling for a reason. I just have to get it out of her. Above the ceiling. Why were you up there? Heard the gunshots during the second set, during your performance. You're quite sure? Yes. Why would I lie about the time? Why didn't you tell us that yesterday? No one asked me. I thought you all knew. I told you Macho was not the killer. I told you this many times. Yes, you did. But you never told us why. I am sorry. I was not able to speak of it. Unable or unwilling. He's not talking, Apollo. What do we do? We'll have to prove it ourselves. As long as she is bound by this pact of silence, she won't talk. But I can prove why she's up there. She'll have to admit it. And how are we going to do that? She was saying on the stage, Apollo. She couldn't have been up above the ceiling, too. Yes, she could. We had a theory as to why, too. Maybe I got the evidence to prove it. That's the question, yeah. I didn't mean to do that, actually. Exactly who bound you to secrecy? I'm not sure I'm allowed to say who it was. No, I think perhaps that is alright. It's just a name, after all. It was Valent Gramarte. Perhaps you know him. Valent Gramarte? What? You mean Uncle Valent? What? Valent Gramarte? Who's Valent Gramarte? A great musician, the one responsible for the illusion performed during our concert. Interesting reaction, Prosecutor Gavin. He was bound to secrecy. So without a word, you just left the third set start. After the curtain closed to the second set, there was still much to do. You could have presented this whole machine if you only told us sooner. Yes, perhaps I could have. It's still no point of badgering the witness. What's done is done. All works differently is when in the middle of a performance. Well, I've lost my voice in the middle of a show and kept on singing, completely unaware. Singing without a voice? If only all contradictions were so obvious. Well, I can get Lamiroir to talk. Pressuring her like this doesn't seem to be getting anywhere. You know, we do have the brooch. was bound to secrecy, huh? I smell when to meet in the air vent. I need to be careful where I put my hands and feet. I cannot see the light coming through the window, of course. That air vent could trip you up, certainly. So I was walking very carefully when I heard the gunshots. Sort of like crouched and listened. That's when I heard his voice come from the room. Karen's voice. I knew something terrible had happened, yet... But evidence, though. How do we... I'm not sure, like, what evidence we should... I mean, clearly it was because of the performance, right? So... Objection! Yeah, okay. More, truth be told, the reason for your presence above the ceiling is quite clear. Especially when you consider what happened during your performance. What happened? Yes, it's all right here in this video. As we can see, Lamiroir is clearly not on the stage for her entire performance. Ah. So what saddens me to be so realistic, Lamiroir is incapable of actually vanishing, let alone teleportation. The only explanation was hidden from view. During that time, she moved to the back of the form. Apollo... What, Jersey? It's not nice to reveal a mission secret, and it's against the rules. But I'm a lawyer, I'm not supposed to be nice. This is all very fascinating. But how is it possible? There's only 20 seconds between when she disappeared and reappears. She couldn't move that fast. Is something wrong, Professor Gavin? This was his concert, his show. He knows how the illusion was performed. Aha! He's just realizing his own oversight. Let's look at the cross-section diagram again. Here we can trace the route to the ceiling. It goes from the stage to the backstage to the rear of the form. Carla Moore's testimony from yesterday. As I'm away from the stage to the backstage exit, there's something like a little window there. That's how I saw it. Shown from the stage to the backstage exit. A perfect description of the route above the ceiling. Lamiroir knew of this because of her part in the illusion. She wasn't the only one who knew. What? Just now in the lobby, Munchie told me something. I know if I open an vent, I can leave the stage and backstage. You said that. Oh, you're not informed, Prosecutor Gavin. I knew about the Vanishing Act, of course. Yet I had no idea the route that would be used. Why did that magician tell me? Missions only reveal secrets their act on a need-to-know basis. They're the bread and butter of a mission's life, you know. This is why he bound Lamiroir to secrecy. Well, Lamiroir, I'm impressed, Mr. Attorney. Ms. Ratchet is right about you. So, what does this mean? Are you saying that you used this route above the ceiling? I did. Well, that's it, but I'm still a little confused. Why is that, Your Honor? As I said before, there was very little time between Jada's appearance and she reappeared. "20 seconds, tops. How could she do it so fast? Especially if she stopped to hear the shooter's voice." That's a good question. Who wants to explain this to court? I cannot. Very well, Mr. Justice. Yes? It's all up to you. Do your thing. What thing, Your Honor? You need to explain how Lamiroir was able to teleport like she did. Or I'm throwing your case out with the bathwater. Why do I get picked on? It's Lamiroir is going along the program here. As I stated before, I'm not at liberty to speak of the illusion that night in detail. Then you'll just have to tell us what you can. We'll hear your testimony on this. Mr. Justice, it'll be your job to bring the truth out of her. Yes, if you would, please. Right. I feel like a student before the finals. Good luck, Apollo. The big illusion. I followed the route exactly as I was instructed. There was an emergency exit in the backstage where a stagehand waited. From there, one can enter the forum on the opposite side of the stage. The plan is to move there in 2 minutes. I was on my way when I heard the voice. 2 minutes, you say. The mystery deepens. I suppose it was too much to hope that the judge would come up with something. As does my curiosity. Take it away, Mr. Justice. Right, Your Honor. All I did was find the contradiction between what Lamiroir is saying and what we can see plainly in the video. I figured it out already. I'm a magician, after all. Well, tell me. Not a chance. I can't reveal another mission's secrets. Come on. Hey, you're supposed to be on my side here. You're supposed to be my assistant, Juicy. Gosh, you're supposed to help me. Help me out with these things, alright? You followed the route. Went to exit. 2 minutes. It was much shorter than 2 minutes, though, right? 2 minutes. Yes, it can be done in 1 minute if you're running. Running in that cramped, dark tunnel above the ceiling. Mr. Attorney, have you forgotten? Dark or light, it makes no difference to me. That's true, but... So you're saying that on the night of the concert, you made the trip in 2 minutes? Yes, though I nearly didn't make it in time. You see, I stopped halfway. Moore disappears in the video for 20 seconds. She says she made the trip in 2 minutes. How? From my professional opinion, I bet the answer is right there in that video. Well, Mr. Justice, perhaps you have some evidence for us. Something that can explain the discrepancy between the video and her testimony. And to explain the discrepancy... Yeah, I have evidence. One piece of evidence that explains the discrepancy between the video and the testimony, it's the brooch. Lamiroir, do you happen to remember this brooch? Ah, the brooch. We saw that yesterday, did we not? It was found at the scene, Your Honor. And you're bringing this up... Why? I thought we had already determined that was dropped. So did I, but we hadn't. Take a look at the video. Here you can see she's wearing the brooch. So she is. Let's look a bit later. What? The brooch! It's gone! What? Yes. The brooch disappeared in the short space of 20 seconds. It takes a full minute to run from the stage from the backstage. Which means there can only be one explanation. The more we see before the vanishing act and the more we see after are two different people. What? What? Torch is found on the floor at the crime scene. Not just on the floor, but on the floor directly beneath the air vent. Lamiroir, tell me, did you drop the brooch on your way out from the stage to the backstage, at the very moment you were witness to the crime? Yes, I think I did. Order! Prosecutor Gavin! From your expression, I gather you had no idea this was the case, Judge. I, of course, knew about it. But what? Don't get me wrong, I wasn't hiding it. It just never occurred to me that the switch and the shooting took place at the same time. So I was right. There's a switch. There was. Just before the stage's tower rose, Lamiroir's place was replaced. While we're on the subject, who was his replacement of Lamiroir? Why, the man beneath the illusion, Valence Caramarte. It was Caramarte? That's quite the illusion, but I still don't get one thing. Yes. The switch happened before the tower rose, correct? So you weren't on the stage. That's right, but this fake Lamiroir is still singing. And she's pretty good. That's true. Come on, Apollo, that's an easy one. They're just playing a recording. The Giveneers aren't some kind of air guitar band for online. Oh, you mean I'm wrong? When we play a show live, we play live, no recordings. Perhaps you can explain them more. Very well. Yes, do tell, and add to your testimony. I had to keep singing while I moved. Huh. Interesting. Okay. We will come back next time and see where this takes us.